Great job, and that's our feedback. Let's get the next company ready to go. Our next company is, we just did Zumba, and the next one is going to be eDGEVANTAGE. eDGEVANTAGE, right there.
Jehan Bastians from eDGEVANTAGE.
All right, let's hear it for eDGEVANTAGE. Come on, guys, big applause, big applause. Let's cheer him on.
Hi, Jason. Hi, guys. Good evening. I'm Jehan Bastians, and I represent a company called Strategic Partnership Solutions. The product we're pitching today is eDGEVANTAGE. So what is eDGEVANTAGE, you might ask? If you've ever had an irate customer call you and complain that his request simply got lost, never got done, or if you've got someone who calls and complains that you've taken far too long to process a request, internally in a large organization, the leave sheet you got your boss to sign up and approve went missing, never reached HR, or a cost reimbursement requisition never got to the cashier on time, then you need the eDGEVANTAGE. What does it do? We give you end-to-end business process management. We take care of all your documents as part of the process, and we ensure we link up all your stakeholders and ensure they have the information they need to do their jobs and give you informed decisions. It's web-based, and it connects up all the different departmental databases, eliminating silos of information. It's built on open source platform, so that's in short what the product is.
Well done. So I've seen these kind of businesses before. I understand what they are. Generally, there's business process automation, which means somebody signs a contract, somebody, let's say, engages an accounting firm, and there's a 10-step process for doing some task, and you have to make sure that each of those things occurs and the contract is fulfilled, and you guys build a system to manage that. Am I correct in describing it?
Exactly, spot on.
Right. And so who are your big clients? Is it mostly, pharmaceuticals or accounting firms and that kind of stuff?
Actually, here in Sri Lanka, our main customers up to date have been service companies. So the banks, financial service providers, because leasing and financial services are pretty big here. The bigger companies are in terms of are there. So we work with insurance companies, banks, and leasing providers. Those have been our main customers to date. But we'd like to move on because we've just engaged with a company that has asked us to manage their shared services. Again, that's a group of companies, 12 of 13 different companies, handling their IT, finance, and HR in the center. So we do the engagement between the businesses and the service providers in the center. Same business concept, but it's more internally driven.
And so what is the open source software that this is built off of?
Well, we use open source in the sense that it's our own proprietary system. But what we do is we use, to keep cost of ownership down, we use Linux as our deployment environment. We use a MySQL server database, and we use JBoss as the application server.
And how do people normally handle this kind of like document management, workflow stuff? Is this like SAP, or who's the typical big expense company?
Well, our biggest client to date has been Standard Chartered Bank. The Sri Lankan branch, or Sri Lankan sort of company here. We manage their business among 12
The
branches.
competitor. Who's the big competitor?
Sorry. Yeah. Mainly big guys like IBM, FileNet Pro, Lotus Domino. These are the guys who we compete with.
Yeah. So I used to be a Lotus Notes. I used to do Lotus Notes, like sort of databases, and build this kind of workflow stuff. Workflow was an incredible thing in the in the 90s, people really thought this would be changing everything and get rid of these, make things paperless office, and it largely has, and it's been successful. And now software as a service is sort of taking every little thing that could have been a document and putting it back into databases. And so I wonder, how many documents and contracts are left that need to be put into these kind of systems, versus proprietary systems. But it looks, it's hard to tell here, how good this product is, but it looks like a serviceable product and a decent business. Not particularly innovative, but you're fighting on cost. And I think if you're doing a lot of outsourcing and doing a lot of, this sort of work for big companies that are looking to save money, obviously cost is a big driver of how they select it. So it seems like it's pretty well put together. I don't like the naming and I don't like the color scheme, but that's okay. I don't think that people are looking for, the most cutting edge design here for a software as a document management workflow company. What are your thoughts?
Well, on the surface, I think that a lot of these big companies that you're targeting are going to have a lot of inefficiencies in general. Just big companies, if you've worked in them, you totally understand that they're going to have some pain. And I think that the way to really sell it is going to be based on the pitch that was just delivered, which I thought was pretty strong. It was pretty confidence inspiring, and I think that if Jehan was to go into one of these big enterprises and pitch the decision maker, it would be pretty convincing, and it would be probably worth a trial. I think. Yeah, I think it's good stuff.
Yeah, good job, Tyler. Any feedback?
No, not really.
Yeah.
But why is it? Are we going to see more like this? Is this like the beginning of
It feels like we're seeing a theme here, which is a big focus on enterprise computing. So we'll see as we go if we're going to get more into consumer or mobile or education.